I'm going to talk about artificial intelligence over the history of the last 20 years. Initially, I was thinking of going and telling you about the history I went through. So 20 years ago, actually 99, I started my first AI company in Germany, and it had AI in it. We wanted to develop AI as a service, which was a challenge. So we were thinking about how to do this, and ended up looking at verticals and implementing technologies in certain verticals instead of building full-fledged AI as a service. And at that time, at that time, I mean, it not only us, not only a startup in Germany, was working on more looking at AI in an application framework, but also large companies. So for example, Amazon is doing AI for a long time, machine learning for a long time. And our history in that is coming from different areas. For example, fulfillment and logistics uses machine learning. We need to understand how the inventory has to move to be optimal so that we can deliver on our promise to be able to deliver something in 2 days to you as a customer. And other things inside the logistics, inside the warehouses, that's something which Amazon is also looking at. I mean, for example, I have a small video here. Can we see that as a video? So these bots, these robots are fully autonomous, obviously, in our warehouses, and they basically move things around so that paths are short and so forth, so that we can fully optimize our end-to-end delivery process. That's not new, so that's one of the things which we did in the past in AI. But of course, also things like search and discovery. When you're looking for a product, being able to find what you're looking for needs language understanding to some extent, and we need to understand what other people do in addition to which I have comparable interests, and basically use that to offer you the better results. So a sample here. Can we see that? I mean, for example, these suggestions, for example. Another is we have existing products which are utilizing AI, like this, where we can identify people in movies and make them available to you when you're looking for which actor at what point was visible in a movie, for example. So after we went through, and the same with the movie when you're watching it, and then we're building new services. I mean, that's not really new anymore, but it used to be new 3 years ago. So the Echo, for example, is something which you might have at home. You can communicate with it. We need to understand, get better in understand how to optimize the content towards what you want to see. We're going not only speech input and output, but also we're going into visual input and output as well. For example, the Echo Show, if you have it at home, you can actually use the camera, which is built in not only for video chat, but also if you're looking for a product, put it in front of the camera of the Echo Show and say, I want to buy this. It will figure out what you're looking for. Other products, Amazon Go, which is the store where you don't have a cashier. You can go in, you sign in when you're walking into the store, pick up whatever you want, and then go, and you're charged as soon as you leave the store. Right now we have it only in Seattle, but it's showing a lot of success there. So something which is important for me, and over the years, which is teaching us, is that we need to, when we want to develop a good user experience today, we have to do more than what we used to be doing in the past. So for us today, multiple modalities are important. People converse with each other, human to human, not only through speech, not only through text. We have to break those barriers. The context which we have to take into account when we make decisions in AI, they have to be diverse as well. We need to implement personalization, user behavior, language, environment, etc. And then the knowledge sources which we take into account, they're getting more and more broad. So if you want to build a good bot, for example, you might have heard it in a presentation before me, but if you want to build a good bot, use more knowledge and combine those to build basically the best user experience. For example, combine knowledge source which is world and general knowledge with domain-specific knowledge, with the user-specific knowledge. So this is important for us. So in the enabling technologies in this area, I mean, we have today things which we were dreaming of 20 years ago. I mean, multitask learning, zero-shot learning, reinforcement learning, imitation learning, and enhanced embeddings and attention models allow us to learn while we are going, learn while we are serving the user, for example, or being more intelligent about modalities not coming just from text input, for example. So our goal, our mission inside Amazon AI within AWS is to put machine learning in the hands of everyone. So which means the developer, the data scientist, and the entrepreneur. How are we going to do this? So we have multiple layers of machine learning services which we are making available for everyone. So one of the things is frameworks. So you guys might have heard about, of course, MXNet and TensorFlow and PyTorch and CNTK and Keras and so forth. Those is what we call frameworks. So if you take a machine learning army and want to use that, instead of having to worry about loading the latest model, loading the latest libraries, making them compatible with each other, making them efficiently work with the GPUs and all of that, we can help you with that. You just go ahead and pick the army, do whatever you want. So this speaks to the applied scientists, data scientists, I mean, in this area. So this is to simplify and remove friction on that end. Then we have platforms. So SageMaker is an Amazon service where we speak to the data scientist which knows what algorithms they want, know that the data is there, and they don't want to implement the algorithm all from scratch and want to basically make use of certain existing algorithms or certain techniques on how to optimize parameters and all of that. So SageMaker speaks to those folks. And then the application services, which is, this is where I am active. This is computer vision on videos, Poly as text-to-speech, and then transcribe for speech recognition, and comprehend and Lex. Let's go a little bit more deeper. So that's the list of customers, part of it. I'm going to talk about those. Recognition, video, Poly, transcribe, Lex, comprehend, and translate. So recognition is to extract information out of images. I mean, that's today people are using that. We are learning on large amounts of data and want to make it seamless for the entrepreneur to utilize that in the higher level solutions which they want to implement. So what we offer today is object and scene detection, facial analysis, face comparison, facial recognition, celebrity recognition, and image moderation. In addition to that, we are now allowing, for example, also text detection as a service, and we allow now real-time face search. So these are the services which came in. So that's the full set of features which we have today, and we're working on more features, obviously. Use cases come in many flavors. We have customers who are using that for digital asset management. We have customers who are using that for media and entertainment, travel and hospitality, influencer marketing, systems integration, digital advertising, consumer storage, law enforcement, public safety, e-commerce, education, and this is only a part of what people are using recognition for today. Recognition video is similar, but it works on videos, obviously, and so we try to identify objects and activities. We do facial recognition, content moderation, person tracking, real-time live stream, and celebrity recognition on videos. I mean, this is, for example, a way of what we can do with recognition video. We track the people. We identify there is a new person in the image, and we track the people and basically can develop a path on how they are interacting and where they're moving and so forth. Text-to-speech, poly. The key features are we are covering a lot of languages today there, 52 languages, 52 voices across 25 languages. We allow things like lip syncing, text highlighting, fine-grained voice control, custom vocabularies, and right now we are expanding the coverage in regions so that you can use it in not only in the US, for example, efficiently, but also in other areas, for example. And the use cases are content creation, mobile and desktop applications, Internet of Things, education and e-learning, telephony, game development, obviously, accessibility. Accessibility meaning making content accessible for people who have, for example, challenges with vision or something like that. And it sounds quite good. Can we hear it? Seems not. So it sounds very natural, and allowing the system, the developer also to give certain pointers about, for example, where the stress in a sentence should be, what should the poly stress on, and whether it should be whispering, being loud, or something like that. Those are things which make this system very very natural. And obviously, it looks at the sentence structure and maybe understands automatically where to put the different focus on the stress, for example. Transcribe is the other direction. So we support both microphone and telephony audio. We are time-stamping everything. So if you're needing it for, let's say, indexing, for example, we have indexes here, timestamps in here. We generate punctuation automatically. We identify speakers. We build a diary of speakers, like speaker A speaking, speaker B speaking, speaker A speaking again, and so forth. And then we allow for custom vocabulary because we know that specialized solutions will need actually vocabulary which is specialized accordingly. So if you're talking about financial domain, if vocabulary is not covered with the baseline vocabulary, you can add your own words, or product names, for example, or things which are, I mean, usually out of vocabulary, you can add them as an integrator. Use cases. We see our customers using it now in call centers, for video subtitling, broadcast, closed captions, meeting transcriptions, social media analysis, and other use cases. So this is a transcript. I mean, we were actually surprised. So as I said, I do speech recognition, for example, since 95 and 98, 99 commercially. The quality on speech recognition output, especially if it's telephony input, used to be just okay for search tasks, but not really for full transcription. Today we can use it for much more than it used to be. So the quality is surprising. Translation, we have that now as well in our services. So we do real-time translation. We within the translation process, we identify and detect the languages. Right now it's 12 languages, and we are expanding more and more on a daily basis almost. And then use cases, of course, call center logging. Well, that's a mistake. So we use that. Video subtitling is definitely an application where translation is being utilized as of now. Speech recognition from the one end and then translating it into different languages. And yeah, globalization in many use cases as well. Translation is also very, very good. I mean, I urge you to try it out, see how things go and compare. So this translation is about this product description, which I thought is very funny. It's a review on the knife, and I'm not sure how practical this kind of knife is. Comprehend. Comprehend is extracting information about in large textual data and gathering that. For example, named entities, extracting, is it a location, an organization, a person, and so forth. Key phrases, how important is a certain phrase for that document, for example. Sentiment, is it positive, negative, is it neutral? And then the language, we identify languages as well. What we also do is, if you have large corpora of text which are unstructured, unorganized, well, you can do topic modeling, where basically the system will suggest a certain structure in the large amounts of textual information you have gathered. So this is a use case on how that can be done, can be used. For example, for analytics, we identify the names and the brands and so forth, and we can basically identify the tweets which are communicating about certain brands and so forth. So this is an implementation. All right, that's Comprehend. Lex. Lex is a platform so that you can build your own bot. Okay, so Lex is a platform to build new bots, and the idea is that the system should be, you should have an influence on the system on identifying intents and slots, and be able to build bots around it. So you can do it in your own environment, whether it's a website or Facebook Messenger or Slack and others, or you can also press an extra button there and have it as a skill inside Alexa, for example, so that you don't only speak. So you can basically build it on both platforms. Use cases are probably known to some of you. So contact center bots. I mean, we have a lot of customers who are using, instead of the old-fashioned IVR way of doing chat experiences with the end customer, they're using Lex, for example, to connect the user with the content which they're looking for, or do anything the customer is asking for. We have informational bots. We have application bots. So informational bots are basically extracting knowledge and presenting it the way to you as a user the way you need. Application bots, you have sometimes the challenge of a device being too small, for example, or you're driving or something like that, and you want a voice user interface, for example, on that one. So you see some of these applications happening. Enterprise productivity, and of course Internet of Things, which I think is very relevant. Internet of Things is basically allowing you to have intelligence all around you, and you have to have some kind of interface to it, and usually speech is a very primary way of communicating with those devices. And I'm getting asked a lot, what is the difference between Alexa and Lex? I hope I was clear. So Alexa is coming with an ecosystem, devices, install base, first-party and third-party skills, and so forth. Lex is usually designed for a single tenant chatbot, and it can be integrated in your own use. As I said, you can build the bot in such a way that you can actually export it also as a skill and have it both ways if you want. All right. So as I mentioned earlier, I think the things which make chat very engaging is you should design your chats and your applications so that they have a sensitivity to social intelligence, personality, modality. So try to remove the friction about what modality the user is using towards a certain bot. That's very important. And having a dynamic conversation, so basically having a system which might not ask a question twice or something like that. So this is all designed. So, yeah. So before I end this, I was asked earlier, what, now that big companies are building these platforms, where is space to grow? What is it what can be done in AI, where startups, for example, can put themselves? And we're building basically the core capabilities so that we want to enable higher level services. Those are the ones which are probably more relevant to grow in. And we see that all the domains, hundreds of domains, they are not served as much as they should be within where we are today. So artificial intelligence is still in the beginnings, and I think there's plenty opportunities to grow in the different dimensions. Thank you. Hi.
Hi. A lot of the functionality about intent is focused on you provide a wake-up word, and then in response to the wake-up word you get an answer, and that's how it's set up. That's introducing a virtual person into the conversation. How about the situation where you want to augment the same person?
Yeah.
And yet be able to use the kind of base learning that's already implicit within the Lex interface.
So Alexa needs a wake word. That's very true. Lex does not. Lex is really designed. You design it as a developer the way you need to.
Yeah.
But even Alexa today, we are developing capabilities to do a carryover of context, so that you can continue conversation with the bot. And actually, we are working with a lot of universities, for example, to make engagement, so to get better in engaging the customer. So there is the Alexa, is it called Alexa Challenge? Yes, Alexa Challenge, where you can basically say, you can try it out if you have an Echo at home. You can say, Alexa, chat with me. And then you can interact with it, and we're trying to be staying in the same in context and enriching it. So the system should be better. So it's all very experimental today.
Sure.
But I think we're going that way.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
And with regard to startups, I mean, one of the untapped sources of data is voice, obviously.
Yes.
The conversational voices. But then you need to sort of transcribe it to text to do further analytics or combine it with other text.
Yeah.
But that's a paid service within Amazon, right?
So in Lex
For
you have
startups, is there something?
in Lex you have speech recognition, but you have also transcribe as a service, which is doing only transcription. So it's there.
Got it. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks for the presentation, Hassan. I'm very interested in all the services that you described, voice to text, and I think you're right that each of the major cloud vendors have got one of each, right? Where you think you're most proud of what AWS is doing? Which of those specific services you think are absolute world class, got a bit of a lead against everyone else?
So we think that our services are very, very good, all of them. So it would be good for, I mean, it really, at the end of the day, depends on where you're applying it and how it looks like. Where we are very, very good, I mean, I think speech we are doing really, really good. Translation, it's difficult to answer that question. So we have collected a lot of data over the years, and we know how to do these things, and I think we look good across the. But we don't. What is missing is the domain-specific models, for example. That's something which we are getting into, where we think that there is a lot to be done still, not only by us, by everyone in this field, in things like very noisy environment and things like that. I mean, there might be more research necessary to build all of these things.
Great. Quick extension. So are we likely to see anything using Amazon-specific domain knowledge come out as a service, like warehousing, machine learning algorithms, routing algorithms, anything like that? Or we don't see that in the future?
I mean, I can't talk about the roadmap. I can tell you only about the things which we have. And obviously, all the things which we have a lot of data which is retail-oriented. So, yeah, I mean.
So one of the problems that I have observed with any device that recognizes language is they're basically, either it's Alexa, Siri, or Google Voice, basically are built around English, very native accent. And people like me who come from India, who have different accents from north to south, east to west, very difficult to get anything or a lot of things done. Is Alexa doing research going in that direction? Because I don't believe either Siri or even Google Voice are doing great on that, but I think, I don't know if anybody has recognized this problem. And it's not just Indian accent problem, but worldwide there's several countries and several people are talking English. I'm not even talking about Indian languages, but English in various different accents, but they are not recognizing the accents.
Definitely, definitely. No, that problem is, we are very much aware of it, and we're trying to work against it. So for example, when Alexa comes out with Alexa can do multiple dialects as well. So it distinguishes between UK and US English, and I think we have now other English dialects as well covered. And we're still in the beginning, but I see your point. I have a bilingual background as well, so I feel that we need to do more in this one. Challenges are when languages sometimes, there's something we call code switching, where you start with a language, change into another language in the same sentence and come back and all of that. So these are research areas which we are working on. I mean, so that for example, if you're recognizing Arabic, the system is able to understand that there's certain English words embedded, or French words embedded, or Turkish words embedded, for example. And similar we see in India, actually. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much.